Hey, Cyber Dragon here. So, this will be the final part of Deoxys. Reason why, I'm trying to do whenever Season 5, starts, which hopefully will be in a week or two, I think. I'm not sure, I haven't been keeping track of when it's supposed to come out exactly. But when it does come out, I will continue the other series that I put on hold, like Taskmaster and Sub-Zero. So if I can do some less series like this one and Star-Lord, because I got 2 endings I can do for those two, somewhat, so that I don't really have to do them, like for Season 5. So hopefully this will be the last one, I believe. At best, this one will just pretty much end the series, so... And after that, I will continue doing the Hulk What If. So I think people would prefer that, me than continuing this series like that. But I guess if it does get plenty of comments, I guess I'll consider it, but at the same time, nah. And if anyone else wants to do this series, go right ahead. Honestly, I'm paving the road for you guys to do this, so... Anyways, let's start. Last time we left off, Deku was kidnapped, technically killed, so... Yeah. As we're at the League of Villains hideout, Shigaraki is waiting for Deku to reform, tapping his fingers along. How long does this take? Muscular said, I don't really know. The kid looked pretty tired and weak, and even beforehand. I guess it was all that training he had to do up there. This might take a while longer then. Ah well, we can at least hold on to him for now. The Hero Society must be in an uproar, cause they lost a UA student. Now, so I don't really know how long this takes. As we get to the UA faculty meeting, they are talking about what happened at the training camp, how Izuku was kidnapped, and what their plans. And saying, okay, for what we know, Midoriya could reform any moment now, or since he possibly exerted a lot of energy, he could potentially not be. You cannot release the fact that he died like that again. And so we need to make sure none of the students know his secret of sorts, of his quirk, per se. As they're all in agreement, because the students have been curious about his quirk. No quirk could allow him to resurrect like that. There's been some curiosity, but they've been hiding it on the very down low. This is just so Deku has to reveal his past. And because of this, Jiro is listening in on this conversations and relaying what they are saying to the others. So everything I'm saying about Aizawa and everyone else, Jiro will repeat. So then Nezu, back to the students, teachers, Nezu then says, yes. So, sooner or later, Midoriya will have to explain to them, so that they can at least take the blow a little bit more easier. The fact that he's not of this world. So, right, if people knew about this, then it would be an uproar. But if small factions, but no people know about this, like All Might's quirk, then it could make the blow easier if anyone did figure out. But it's still incredibly dangerous, so he needs to choose wisely on who he tells. Yes, but still, we should support him in whatever he chooses. Now, have we located the League's hideout by any chance? So, we're getting close. With Miss Mariorozu giving us a tracker on one of the locations, we're narrowing down another location. It might take us a couple days at most. And I don't know how long the actual event happened, but I'm gonna maybe say like takes actually more than a couple of days, so like a week about. Which by then they would try to experiment on Deku's like gym thing. See what makes it tick and how he can do all this. Because they know it's somewhat of a quirk. But they're still curious on what it is. Or what he is. And All Might is thinking, like, if I was there, I could have protected them. But I was at home, so that's relaxing. While they were being attacked. No one's blaming you, All Might. So, the League has been a thorn in our side for a long time now. So, we will have to deal with them here and now. So, let's take them all in if we can. Yes. Some of them are troublesome, though. Like that Shigaraki character. And some of the other characters we know now. Muscular, this other person named Dabi, and a girl named Toga. Himiki Toga. Says, we must take them down. So, and the students heard all of this, by the way, because, again, Jiro, she told them everything that they said, that he's not from this world. They're shocked and surprised. But they're going to hold that for later until they rescue Midoriya. They were hoping to get location on where he's at. But for now, they just have to trust in the teachers. And we head back to the villain's hideout. As we cut to All For One examining Deku's gym thing. I'm curious. This is no quirk I've ever seen. Matter of fact, I can't even take it of sort. I don't know if he can take mutation quirks. No, wait, I don't think he can anyway, but I should have been able at least to taking the emitted base quirks. He seems to have a regeneration one too. Is it possible this child is not even of this world? I must examine it and see if I can implicate it into any of my Nomus. And he takes any strands of DNA that is trying to reform somewhat. This one is like any cells that's on its cell or not. And he does put some onto himself. Like, see if he can heal himself back to his prime. Just like how All Might is. Because I did think I made All Might get regenerated in this series. I know I did in the Star Wars one, so I don't see why not this one. But yeah, so a week goes by. Deku have not yet reformed. He's at the Nomu factory, though. The League is just waiting for them. Till the day of the battle comes. So, it goes similar to canon, except for All Might noticing, like, Midoriya is not at the League's hideout currently. Like, where is he, you villains? Oh, he's with our master at the moment. Quite bad to say. So, what an interesting child you all have there. Seems to not be of this world, if anything. How do you know this? Oh, we have our ways. But, you on the other hand, that will never defeat All For One at his state now. So, even if we are taken down. And, yeah, the Silver Sludge comes out, they get taken away. All Might is now taking down the Nomus even fast so that other heroes can help take down All For One. Because he knows this battle will be long and hard. At the Nomu factory, the people who went to save Deku: Kirishima, Ida, Todoroki, Momo, and taking the place of Izuku, Mina. So, yeah. Because sometimes you should let the ships who goes there, so. But either way. So, this is a few minutes before the actual raid happens. They're looking inside the facility, seeing Deku, not him per se, not reformed yet, in his crystallized, gem form, just sitting on a little pedestal of sort. That gotta be him. So he still hasn't yet reformed. It hasn't taken him this long. Although it did only take him, the first time it took him, only a couple of hours. I guess he exerted more energy than last time, so it would definitely take longer for him. So, what's the plan? I can melt a hole through the wall so we can get in, grab him, and get out as fast as we can. That sounds like a plan, but we don't know who's around here at the moment. We better just wait for a moment and see if anything changes. Which, they see Mount Lady doing the same as in canon, breaking the ceiling, and we didn't have to worry after all, apparently. But then All For One comes out clapping. No respirator on his head. He is completely healed. And even put made even more better Nomus out of Deku's cells that did try to reform, but All For One just sliced them off. And, yeah. Just put it on as onto the Nomus, making a new high-end Nomus. Well done, heroes. I thought it would taking you way sooner to get here, but I thought you guys would be here sooner than before. But I guess you guys wanted to make sure you got every little detail down. Although you don't have every last detail, apparently, because you're facing against me. Best Genius does the same in canon, but All For One just obliterates them all. And he's more powerful than before, since ever he's healed up now. And yeah, so Deku is just flung around a bit, like from the wind pressure. Just rolling on the ground now, because it was on a pedestal technically. And All For One just leans down and grabs it, who knew this one little child or specimen here can be so powerful enough to bring me back to my prime. And not even that, to help me build a more better army than ever. I should be really thanking the child if he ever does try to reform. Oh well, I'll be keeping on hold of you for a long time. Now, Shigaraki must be helped. And he brings Shigaraki and the other League members to him, and sends the Nomus to them. Master, so the heroes aren't being dealt with as we speak. Good. Now then, Tomura, I got one last thing for you. And what is that? As All For One just blasts Shigaraki with a high wind pressure through the chest. That I have no more use for you. You're a means to an end, now that I have this specimen of mine now. So, I don't need a successor when I have instantaneous life forever. As Shigaraki falls to the ground. As for the rest of you, I see no purpose of keeping any of you. So you can either leave now, or so some of you could possibly even stay. Either way, I have no use for some of you. some of them are terrified. Darby, muscular, they charge at All For One, and he just takes their quirks. It's like, you two have very interesting quirks. I think I'll take them, at least. And leave you with nothing. Because now All For One thinks he's invincible because he has Deku given him, if he takes any injuries of sorts, he can just use whatever cells to rebuild himself. Kind of like overhaul a bit. Which eventually the news copter gets there, and All Might and All For One starts to fight. Like, All Might. It's good to see you. But, gotta say, I've been urging to fight you since I've been recovered. How is this possible? You should have been dead. Quite contrary. You left me for dead, but I rose back up. Been hooked to machines for almost my entire life. For most of these years. But since I acquired this child, you might call him, I have gained new life. And my so-called successor, I have grown tired of him. So I decided to kill him after his usefulness was done with. Who knows? I may even corrupt this one that I'm holding right now into being a more promising successor. All Might say, young Midoriya, you let him go now, All For One. Or what? He's more useful to me in this way or any other way after I corrupt him. So, I have gained new life because of this interesting character. So, I think it's time to end you and start to rule the underworld once again. Without Tomura Shigaraki. Or should I say Tomura Shimura. Because I think Shigaraki's first name stayed the same no matter what. But I can't remember. I should know his real last name was Shimura. And All Might eyes why not Nana Shimura's grandchild? Quite sure. She had a grandchild she didn't even know. And I was originally planning to use him to become the next All For One, my next successor. But since I've gained new life, I saw no use for him. So, what now, All Might? Will you try to avenge him as you did try to avenge Nana Shimura, your master? Or will you simply just try to take me in and so train your successor to your quirk? Togata? I believe that's his name. I can't remember exactly. I should know it's Mirio, so. And All Might said, you leave him out of this. So, this is between you and me, All For One. Quite. But, since of my newfound strength, I also upgraded these Nomus. So they will run rampant through the city soon. Which the other heroes are having difficulties with these Nomus. They have more advanced regeneration and kind of have similar qualities to deoxys. I did say similar, not exact, so I guess, how would I say this? They do have, the speed, attack, and defense forms, but different. There's different forms, one is just made for solid defenses, one is made for speeds alone, and one is made for attacks. These are the three forms behind the base form, so they're the new Nomus, but still having some brain explosion, like Nomu qualities on Deoxys, basically. Just imagine that. And All Might said, not only that you use his power to heal you, but you use it to build an army out of him. So this will end now, All For One. Quite so. Enough chatter. Let's fight. And All For One sends powerful blasts of wind towards, like air cannons towards All Might. All Might is dodging best as he can. The world is watching this. So All For One and All Might fighting. It goes differently to canon, since ever they're both in their prime, but All Might is still losing power, since ever he did pass on the quirk. He is slightly struggling. Plus, with All For One even taking Darby's and muscular quirk, he has a better defense with muscle augmentation forming around All For One whenever All Might try to punch, and All For One even using Darby's flames to try to push him back. Eventually some other the heroes on the other side is still having difficulties with the Nomus, but Endeavor is helping the best he can. Taking down a couple, but still, it will take a while. And every hero in town is trying to help now, too, with the battle ensuing. The students are considering, like, what to do. And All For One still has Deku in his, like, pocket. He put him in his pocket. And All Might is trying to get at him, but All For One is not letting him. Like, oh, so you're still trying to protect this child. Well, sir, I'm not letting you get to him that easily. And during the fighting, sir, they're trying to form a plan. And All Might is struggling tremendously. So, Night Eye and Mirio decide to come along to this part now. They see how much All Might is struggling, and knowing that they want to save Deku, so they head to there. Night Eye finally showing up, hitting All For One with 2 stamps. Or the 2 stamp things. But All For One kind of saw him coming. Ah, so your former sidekick has finally come to see you die once again. Night Eye? Yes, All Might. So, we know you're having difficulties with him. And such, I thought that I may be of assistance. See, I do say, Sir Night Eye, your quirk is interesting. I might take it after killing All Might here. So, it is a shame that it only works for so long. Oh well. And I suppose you brought his successor here too, didn't you? That's right. They see Mirio coming in with the permeation punch to All For One. They're trying to punch him to the face, but All For One blocking this with another muscle fiber. So, he is powerful, but still, that power only comes from training. I don't really see a use for him either, though. So I might as well kill him, ending the lineage of one for all. And now it's 3 against 1. So, who's the first to strike? So I'm waiting. And out of nowhere, a giant ice barrage comes at All For One. Him not suspecting this can't really react fast enough. he got hit by some ice, and it was Todoroki. And then, so, Todoroki said, "Now, get him!" So, to all three of them, they all attack. So, Mina comes in as well, as and every other member of the rescue group comes to help battle. The news is capturing us all of 1A seeing that the others are trying to help as best as they can. And All Might is struggling to even beat this villain, so he has to rely on help. This is truly a trying day. With All For One dealing with multiple opponents now, he is using some of Deku to help him. So he can absorb some of the organisms on him, so he constantly heals himself anytime he takes any damage of sorts. Hi. Even with all of you combined, you can't defeat me with him in hand. As I'm out of nowhere, Mirio comes in behind, grabbing Deku. Jim. All For One said, "No!" and reaches out for him, but Mina shoots some acid and Todoroki shoots some ice and fire at him, which All For One has to block with a wind cannon mixed with cremation to melt the ice and to blast away the acid and fire. As Mirio takes Deku a bit farther away, handing them to the 1A students. "Okay, now you guys go. So we'll hand him from here." And so they are nodding in agreement, and they start to run. As such, All For One then uses some other Nomus he had stashed away to send after the others, so he can recover Deku. Night-Eye and Mirio tried to stop the Nomus, but with almost no avail. As such, those Nomus are now after the students, trying to recover Deku's gem. They fight the Nomus off, but with almost no avail, they are slowly holding them off. All For One, "It doesn't matter. I will have that boy sooner or later. But as for you three, you won't see the sunrise tomorrow. So it's time to end you all." As he shoots at Night-Eye, Mirio, and All Might, they dodge as best as they can. But Night-Eye eventually gets killed by All For One. All Might and Mirio, in rage, charge at him, using all they can. As we cut to the UA students, they are, as said, struggling to fend off against the Nomus. The Nomu deoxys, I guess, like Deoxy-Nomu. But eventually they drop Deku by accident. Or Mina drops Deku by accident after being hit by a Nomu. As the Nomu reaches for him, something odd happens. The organisms that are in Nomu cells starts to form around the gem, taking any cells that was on the Nomu and getting rid of the Nomu cells off of it, helping Deku reform faster. They realizing Deku is the ultimate weapon against these new Nomus, and perhaps even against All For One, since ever he was being used with All For One this entire time. Such, after Deku gets some cells, he starts to absorb the other few Nomus that was attacking 1A students, eventually reforming. "Hey guys, miss me?" Mina runs up, tears in her eyes, hugs him. "Yes, you dummy. Don't ever lose like that again." "Okay, but what's going on?" "Exactly." They explain the situation. Deku transforming his speed form and flying all around the city, collecting any of the Nomu cells, telling them that he got this. And as he is doing this, any Nomu he's absorbing, he gains a bit more power and strength. So, yeah. As now, we cut to All Might and Mirio's fight. Mirio, enraged losing his mentor like that, he gets a bit sloppy. And All For One takes advantage of that, forming the giant fist as in cannon, killing Mirio as he had to breathe with a punch to the chest. All Might eyes widen, yelling out a loud no, and All For One laughing. Looks like the end of One For All has finally come. Took me 9 users to get to that point. Now to deal with the embers of it. Looking at All Might. Now then, shall we continue? So end the symbol of peace once and for all. All Might yelling, All For One! And their fight continues, but All Might is losing badly. Eventually he was beaten down to his skinny form. The world seeing All Might in that form, beaten to nearly a pulp. All For One laughing maniacally. It looks like the symbol of peace has finally fallen, and all the embers has left your body, it seems. Now that there's no real competition to hold me back, it seems like it's now time to end you and rule over the world. And to get that child that you saw fit to keep away from this world. Goodbye, All Might. I would say it was an honor to fight against you, but really, what chance did you have? As he aimed an air cannon at him, a powerful blast of energy hit All For One, sending him flying back. As they see Deku and Deoxys form, All Might eyes widen like, but Midoriya, you're back. So, yep, and I'm here to finish what you guys started. So, what I couldn't finish before. So, I've dealt with all the Nomus that was in the city with my cells. So, it's time to deal with this guy now. And to avenge these two. As All For One gets out of the dust, my, seems as if I didn't consider you could retake your cells. I guess I would have to rework that after our fight. So, I hope All Might can hold off for a little longer until I take you down. Because if you could be taken down by a mere ant with this quirk, as he forms muscular armor on his left arm, so I seriously doubt you can handle multiple quirks with this quirk. Oh, I don't know about that. With all the Nomus I've absorbed, I've gained more power since then. Then show me it. As they start colliding, Deku even forming multiple clones. At this moment, I will say he can form 20. And I get as tired. All For One is firing multiple air cannons around him, hitting a couple, but still, Deku is firing barrages of attacks all around All For One. All For One can't really keep up, and then Deku uses most of the rubber around them, smushing All For One, making a giant ball around him, so he can't move really easily. Even his hair cannons can't get past the compressed amount of materials around him. Then Deku forms a giant fist out of whatever rubble he has lying around, punching All For One with that, sending him flying and a little injured. The battle rages on, as All For One is slowly losing, it seems like. All for One is frantic, like, I can't lose. My time of need is upon me. So, not only that, I've already dealt with my natural enemy, one for all. So, what chance do you have, boy? So, that's the thing. I am not of this world. And, even such, so, you still have some of my cells. One touch from me and I can retrieve all of that. Since if you're not hooked to any machines of sort. His eyes widen. I won't let you come near me. Him blasting constantly. Deku making multiple clones so All for One can't even tell which one is the real one. Till finally, the real Deku grabs onto All for One and starts to absorb any cells All for One took from him. All for One yelling, "No!" Absorbing every last cell Deku had, and even absorbing some of All for One into him. Any All for One's quirks, actually, into him. So, any quirks he had, his air cannon, his muscle fiber, and the quirk that allowed him to live for so long, is all taken from him. Is at an end to Deku now. As All for One collapses, weakened, can barely breathe. No, I can't lose like this. Not to a lesser being like you. Funny, it looks like you're the lesser being now. As All for One collapse, turning into a pile of ash out of fucking nowhere, because all the cells, all the quirks that were taken from him, kept him alive for this long, probably would turn him to a pile of ash if they were all gone at that point. So, that is the end of All for One, and One for All. Deku heads to All Might, so, seeing All Might beaten, close to death, he said, All Might, are you alright? Yeah, I'm alright. But this is truly the end of One for All, is it not? See, it seems so, All Might, but it is also the end of All for One. Let me give you some quirks that I took from him, at least. I didn't take the All for One quirk, but I can still give it to you as in the cell forms. To keep your legacy going for a little longer. All Might does accept this, but not right now, of course. He wants to wait until he's recovered, so his body can handle it. Deku agrees, and the quirks he's giving him is nothing special, just muscle augmentation, some other quirks, like air cannon, muscle augmentation, but to replicate kind of his old quirk. But this is the end of the series, so you're not going to see anything like this, so yeah. As the police finally comes, collecting the surviving members of the League of Villains, and collecting the dead body of Shigaraki and the remains of All for One. And of course collecting the bodies of Mirio Togeda and Sir Night-Eye, putting those two to rest. Next few days, the dormitory system has been initiated. Deku feels a little weird around his friends because they know his secret. He doesn't know that, but they all kind of stare at him at times. He feels the stares, and one day he finally asks, "What is up with all the stares from all of you?" They're like, "We kind of know." Like, know what? That your abilities isn't a quirk. His eyes widen, like, how? I mean, we heard from the teachers, and we wanted you to explain first before we said anything, but we figured we would wait. But it appears our curiosity can't wait. So, mind telling us? Deku's side and tells him everything. How he was originally from outer space. How he got his powers. And they're all shocked. Some of them don't know how to take it. Some of them realize they're best friends with an extraterrestrial. And he feels weird about this. But the rest of the students doesn't really care at this point. He saved everyone, so at least they can at least accept him for what he is. And Mina, well, she accepts that she's dating an extraterrestrial. Even though he's incredibly powerful and could have possibly dated anyone, he chose her. And she's happy about that. We time skip to the future. Since of Deku and Mina graduated, so Deku was announced the #1 hero. They had to wait a long time for that. Mina and Deku is very happy. They eventually did get married after that announcement of him becoming the #1 hero. And Deku did stop Overhaul at one point from making quick evasive bullets, even saving Eri, which Eri and Koda, who they both look up to Deku, decide to become heroes themselves because of him, and he's happy to hear that from them. The other students of 1A eventually got their own lives too, some even becoming the top 10 heroes. Todoroki eventually took the #2 spot that Endeavor had, and Bakugo became #3. Well, I think Kirishima would at least become #9 or 7. Or 8. 8 or 9, basically. So, one of the two. And that's the end of the series. I hope you guys enjoyed the series. I know it seemed weird to end it like this, but it's not really a series that I figured how to end, so plus I really wanted to get to the Hulk series as fast as I can, so and whenever I do end Star-Lord, it will somewhat kind of be like this, but I've already figured out how to end that series, so but yeah, sometime soon I will continue the Hulk, maybe tomorrow, or maybe some point later on tonight after work, or before work, depending on how long of time I got. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this series. And, yeah, so, please do tell me in the comments down below from, like, the last post I did last night on what new series you want. Because I got a couple for Shao Kahn and Anti-Venom. And one last thing. What power should Carnage Deku get? Like, in the future. Because some people did say they want me to give him that ability. So, yeah. Tell me down below what corpse should he copy. But, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Please, have a nice day. Goodbye.